So here's a fish tank undergoing a CAT scan, as it were. This is how you find leaks in fish tanks, because yes, I had one. Now the tank is just drying out, awaiting It's awaiting its re-adhesing. 1 second while I put the phone down. So what you do is you take little strips of paper towel and you take a razor blade and you jam those strips in behind the frame of the tank wherever the water seems to be coming out, because slow leaks are very difficult to locate. They fill up this trough at the bottom, and then the water just sort of flows out onto the table wherever. So this tank, when I got it, it leaked and it had to be repaired, but I found another small one. So what you do is you take these little strips of paper towel and you razor blade jam them in there so they're not quite touching one another, and you find out which ones get wet. Now in this case, this one was dry, and this one was dry, and this one was a little bit wet, and this one was very wet. So it told me that I had a leak right there in the corner, and the leak turns out to be, it was in the side seam of the tank. That got nicked right there. So that'll be repaired today. But that's how you find one of those pesky little slow leaks and actually locate it so that you can do the repairs. As I've done repairs elsewhere on this tank before, you can see that the sealant job is not all that smooth. It's just whatever I could cram in there, but it works. Somebody had dropped this thing before and broken the seal at various places, and it's kind of old. So anyway, it's just glass and glue. No reason it can't be good as new. Ciao. So here's an image from inside the tank. It's lying on its side in the bathroom right at the moment to get you an idea of what those paper towel strips told me. If you look, here they are, they're all soaking wet. This is, again, from inside the tank. The top of the tank is at the top of the photo, even though the background is crooked. There's some silicone sealant that was underneath those paper towels, keeping them dry. And the silicone continued over to here, at which point there was no more. Well, the paper towels at that spot, which was, spinning around, right in the middle of the front bow of the tube, the paper towels at that spot were getting wet, whereas the ones over here, closer to the leak, on the left as you face the tank, they were staying dry because they were being isolated by the silicone. Well, it turns out that the leak wasn't really on this side. The leak was either on this side or perhaps in the back. The water was filling up this trough that is the base of the tank, flowing along and then seeping into the paper towels. So the paper towels were giving me the wrong information. They were useful, but I wasn't interpreting them right. Now, hang on just a second. There's a tank lying on its side, suspect, and the rear or this. And what I've done is I've taken a little Dremel and I've punched into the bottom of this trough, I've punched a series of detector holes. And there's nothing down in that trough. It's just empty space down there, but that's what the water goes into, and that's what it's filling up first. Well, I don't want the water to go into the trough and then, sort of sneak around and go to a different place until it finally overflows and plays silly games with me. So I'm just going to complete this, take the Dremel, and every inch or so, punch another hole in. The hole's not going very deep up toward the glass. I mean, it's just the thickness of the plastic is only about, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch. All right, so the drill actually clears that space and then continues up, and eventually you go, ding, there's the glass. Put the plastic ends there, glass is up there. So there's this empty space underneath. Yes, that's where the sneaky water's going. So let me complete that trip all the way around the tank. So you'll notice that the surface I'm drilling into is the surface that the tank sits on. Here are the little scratches and scuffs from where it's been moved around over its lifetime. Here are some of those Teflon sliders. These are just the corner ones that I talked about elsewhere. Now let's turn the tank upside down, fill it up, and see what kind of surprise we get. This should be interesting. By the way, here's how to get the bucket under the spigot if you've got a tub that really wasn't made for filling buckets. Use a couple of rubber door stops. There you go. Let it fill up. And that goes in the tank. And chop it off. Now, gonna go away for a couple hours and let everything dry except what's dripping, and we'll find out what the story is. There it is, 213.2 pounds of water. Is that what 26 gallons came out to? I think we figured that out in another video. All right, we'll be back. Well, I waited until most of the excess water flowed away, dried the tank off real nice around the periphery, made sure to go underneath the lip where the telltale openings are, and let's see what we got. Something interesting here. This is one of my favorite little tools, a very bright clamp-on LED lamp. No heat, just a lot of light. If you look straight down on the tank, at places where there's clear silicon from prior patch jobs, because when I got this tank, I got it from a really nice fellow who sold me a leaky tank. But I could see even later where he dropped it, because it had like a severe ding out of the plastic on the bottom edge. Anyway, you can see anywhere there's clear silicon, doesn't work where there's black silicon, you can see where there's those little holes that I drilled. And since we're over on this side, let me show you something. You seeing what I'm seeing? A little difficult to tell because I'm not in the tub to monitor it. Right there. Let's try this from another angle. what do you know? No leakage from those holes. No leakage from those holes. Just that one little telltale drip. I think we found our gap in the silicon. So this is right here. Looking down from above. Right in that spot. About an inch or two to the left of that corner. All that silicon's coming out. Now for the repair job.